I like having fun. I like to laugh. I like to meet people who can make me laugh. I like having fun. Yes, I like to laugh. I like having fun to meet people.
Through will and will alone, we are here broadcasting live, ladies and gentlemen. That's right, live from the critically damaged Spectrum internet, which has been under assault, under attack by hackers trying to silence my voice, trying to erase my rights as an American, the First Amendment, which has been given to me, born by God.
Fucking hilarious.
They try to stomp us out. They try to put us down. They try to snuff us out. But we persist. Like Senator Elizabeth Warren said, she persists, I persist. You can't stop me. You can't. It's too late to stop now, says Van Morrison. I say it too.
It ain't about how
No,
hard you hit.
that's right, Rock.
How hard you can
Oh, I get a message in my inbox. Bing! Spectrum's down. Bing! I get knocked down. I get up. I say, let's do this. Let's get on personal hotspots. Let's connect to the beautiful 4G. Whatever it takes to get the show done, we're gonna do it. You hear me? And you don't even give a shit. You take it for granted. Nobody thanks me. Nobody kisses the ring. Thank you, sir, for your service. Yes, sir. Oh, Pitts.
Wow.
Well, I thought about it this morning. I said, I feel good in my blue. The shirt's fitting better these days. Am I gonna sink in? Is the perspiration going to break through the black t-shirt into the blue? You bet it is! It's what you gonna do? I don't know how these pros, how do these professionals do it, folks? We don't know. Let me know if you're a pro.
Did he use deote or
Deote.
deote or some perspirant?
I did
use deote.
Antiperspirant.
I had to deote my milk. Do you ever get the oat milk with pulp?
With pulp. That's why I like it.
Yeah, extra chunky.
We forgot to do the dishes down here, so I'm left with the chubby.
Oh, there it is.
Got the chubby
Do
this
the
morning.
hucklebuck.
Do the hucklebuck.
Good morning, everyone. Let's begin the show quickly. Go get out of here. We're gonna do a 5-minute show today. Gotta get out of here. Gotta move things along. Thursday, must-see TV, right, guys? We got Cheers.
Little
Cheers
House.
is on. What's that?
Little House.
Little House is that Thursdays?
Watch the MASH.
No, I'm thinking Cheers.
Family Matters.
No, that's TGIF on ABC. man.
Cosby Show.
Step by
Cosby
step.
Show.
Seinfeld.
Thank you.
Oh,
Cosby
there we go.
Show. We got
Fresh.
Family Ties, and
Fresh Prince was
then
later.
Seinfeld and Friends.
Golden
with the
Girls?
Supersize. Supersize. Remember when they would supersize the show and you'd have an extra 5 minutes of Seinfeld? You don't remember, do you?
Wait, is that real?
Yeah, because
No, they had extra 5 minutes of
Come on.
Seinfeld.
they sure as fuck did, motherfuckers.
And then what? The next show gets screwed.
No, it runs in. Well, it's true. I don't know how
Yeah,
they do
what
that.
is it?
Hunter's there at 9 o'clock going like, what about us? What do we do, a 50-minute show now?
Remember when TNT would start at like 5 after the hour?
Yeah, they're always trying to figure out ways to get the upper hand on
And it's
you.
still like that,
didn't
right? Like all the late shows are kind of like 11:35, aren't they?
Why don't you let me introduce...
What am I, a TV guide?
Somebody in the chat said, what happened to Spike TV? I think it's a good question.
Oh.
We don't know.
It became TBS is the answer.
Oh, Jesus.
No, TBS has been around since the beginning of cable, baby. That's Turner Broadcasting
Yeah.
Systems. That's one of the... That's Ted Turner. Yeah, shit is right. You're in deep shit.
I'm muting for the rest of the show. Bye.
Now I'm getting
I want to welcome Doug Loosenhop here.
Yeah, Tim. Welcome to me. I'm feeling excited.
I'll smack you in the eye. And Vic Berger, the fourth.
Hey, folks, welcome.
We got a
Morning.
full house this morning. We have a full house with the King of Clubs, ladies and gentlemen. Rock legend and fan of the show. Seems like a nice guy. Came in hot, came in with great energy. Josh Freese is here.
All right.
All right.
My hoe, my rumstick, a pumpernickel, soup, bang, nip, cat, parliament, cameo. I love you.
There you go. There's your intro music.
What was that?
Wow.
That was Steven Tyler.
Oh, God.
A little scatting.
Later in the show, a new voice in modern music. I'm starting a new category. I did this with Christian Lee Hudson, who's got a new single out right now that's very good called Strawberry Lemonade. I have a new category, new greats. No, one of the greats of the new millennium. These are artists that are firmly planted in the 21st century, and they're young and they're fresh, and they're going to be. Forget the Stones, and no offense to you, Josh, forget Sting and everybody else. Let's focus on the future. Future of music needs to be in our young, folky, quiet, atmospheric music.
I heard him warming up.
Hayden
and,
Pedigo.
Yes.
Hayden Pedigo.
You're warming up, and I was got in such a nice zen mood right there.
Hayden Pedigo will be coming later. And of course, your Zooms and the hotline is up. Matt, is the hotline engaged today?
It's full already.
Why don't we break protocol and take a call?
Yeah, let's do it.
We've never done this before, ladies and gentlemen. This is an office hours first. We've never gone straight to the hotline. This shall be interesting. It could be a big mistake. I could be running myself into traffic.
423, you're on the line.
Hey, am I on the line with Tim?
You sure are. Tim Heidecker reporting for duty. How can I help you? Where are you calling from? What's your name?
Hey,
Where
what's
are
up,
you?
Tim? Well, my name is Levi, calling from Chattanooga, Tennessee.
Levi is one of the characters on the hit NBC program La Brea that I'm all caught up on. One of my favorite characters is Levi.
Cool. Is that true? Well, I'll have to check it out. First off, big fans, long-time listener, first-time caller, all that BS. But I know we're early in the show, but I would like to see a Hayden Pedigo and Tim Heidecker collaboration.
A collab?
Is that something we could see in the near future?
No. No interest.
No.
No, I did reach out to Hayden as I was putting my new album together, and my vision, my hope was that I would get Hayden on the record somehow playing, because I love his playing. But it didn't happen because of my own laziness, I think, mostly. And I'm looking over here because Hayden is in the room.
Yeah, I guess we haven't
This is
seen
an
him
odd
yet.
choice. We should just
Not
cut
permitted to speak.
Can we just? I mean, I've told him
You've not allowed him to speak yet.
we were going to have him enter, and then it's more comfortable in here than being stuck out with the guys. In the,
I can't wait to see his outfit. Hopefully we
Well,
see
let's go
some
to him.
Can we see?
crazy,
Yeah,
like,
this
yeah,
is-
Pedago
why don't we
hat.
do this?
There
Why
are
don't we
cameras.
bump Josh Freese, because he's been a dud so far. And we'll go right to
Yeah,
Hayden,
Josh
and we'll
seems
get
like
out
a
of here.
good guy, but let's get to the Gucci star, which is Hayden.
The
Gucci
Gucci star, yes, the Gucci star. Hayden, good morning.
Hello.
All right.
Okay, cool. Well,
that all you
I
want?
guess last thing, when? Hello. Yeah, that's all I want. But when can you expect the new record from you?
Next spring.
Thank you, Tim.
Next spring.
That's correct.
Good gosh. I will patiently.
Spin dark days until then, every day. Spin it!
Word. All right.
Matt, I got to get
Take
to
care.
business
Love
here.
ya.
We got to take care of business. That's
Thanks,
what we do here.
423.
Pleasure's all mine.
It is my complete, I come with hat in hand, because last week I was remiss to mention these, and I don't know, they just sent us these. We're not getting any money for this, but they sent us these campfire audio in Portland, Oregon. I assume it's Portland, Oregon, right? You don't specify, because there is a
Portland, Oregon. Yeah.
It's Maine, right?
There is.
There's what else?
These are the Oregon ones.
Okay.
Campfire Audio, they made these incredible custom in-ears. They're very cozy, and they sound terrific. Do they sound good to you guys? You guys are pros.
Now I'm getting excited. I don't
You've
think I've
your
got
own-
different
oh,
ones.
no.
Oh.
You
No,
got
those are the campfire, just the generic fit.
No, he brought his own.
No, he brought
your own.
Of
They're
course.
fit to his holes. So
Shit.
yeah.
Both holes.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Well,
check out
Hayden-
Campfire Audio. They were very great. These are not cheap, by the way. I don't know what they're doing sending us all this stuff. They're going to go out of business.
I got a nice compliment from the doctor when I was getting my ear holes measured or like cast. It said they like brought someone else. She's like, look at this, look in here, and like your ear holes are very long and very straight, and it's kind of cool. Like you can like
Yeah, you know what? There's
Let me
nothing
see.
in there. There's nothing between them.
Let me see that shape.
She's like,
see right
you can
through.
see
but,
right
like, You
through.
can't tell, but like the cast was like really long. It
Yeah,
was like,
you can see right through to the other side. There's nothing in there.
oh
Little echo.
Yeah,
It's just
Lord.
there's echo bouncing
all
around.
this
In there.
reverb in my head.
There's that bird that dips down and drinks water and comes back up. That's all they see in there. Jack in the box.
Spiders crawl right down there at night.
Yeah.
Nice little slide.
That's fine.
Big
Right to the
beehive.
brain.
I like
Big beehive
insects.
in there.
Yeah.
What else? I think that's about it. All right, folks.
All right.
How about a Zoomer, Matt? Let's welcome a Zoomer. People always crave for a Zoomer.
They love talking to Zoomers. iPhone, who we can barely see,
Oh, great. Good
has some
choice.
very pressing questions.
Oh my gosh, I'm on.
Oh,
What an honor. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
We can
turn
hear you,
on
we
some
can't
lights.
see you.
I
You
don't
want
need
to turn
to
on a light?
Light a
Oh
candle.
no, I'm walking the dogs right now. It's
Are you
dark
walking the
here.
dogs in the pitch black on the moon?
Yeah, where are
Let
you?
me see if I'm in Netherlands.
Oh,
See-
how about that?
see
This
the,
is a global show, ladies and gentlemen.
But yeah, some questions for you, Tim. I have a whole list.
Oh, boy.
It's, but I'll start with the serious ones.
Oh, no, please. Please give us the
Okay.
joke questions.
You want the? I have
No.
both. I have both. So okay, serious questions it is. So this is kind of a work versus free time type question. So do you regret how much time you spent on work, and would you trade less success for more free time?
Fantastic question, honestly. Hayden and I were just talking about this as we walked in, because I've said this before. There's this perception that I have that I'm constantly doing. I'm very busy. I'm very overextended, and sometimes that's true. Sometimes, although I feel like I've just nothing but free time, and I generally think when the work is good, when you're doing things the creative stuff that's inspiring to you and the people around you, I don't want to trade that for free time, because free time is, I don't know, but you guys are creative people, chime in, but you don't want to, I don't really have a desire to relax and fill my time with like, I don't know, it's what people would say is not work. Work is generally can be very fun and relaxing.
That's what I was gonna say. You
That's
seem
a
like
good
you're
question.
having fun.
I like to have fun.
I mean,
like
for
to
me,
laugh.
the only thing is trying to balance having kids.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, if I didn't have kids, I'd probably only be doing music
Yeah.
and projects and fun stuff, but work-related shit, right? But
Yeah.
say, music-related and different things like that. But I have to make myself stop doing that so I can be a dad.
Because that's a long play.
Yeah.
That is like
Yeah.
you're building a foundation for another human being
Right.
to
Yeah.
be a normal person.
Sure.
You're helping society by being, there, present and helpful for that.
Some of the
person.
times.
Some of the times. And Hayden is childless.
I got a couple kids.
No, you do not. You're married, man, though.
Yeah, I'm married. No kids.
No kids. Any kids in the future?
Maybe.
Yeah. You're young,
Yeah.
but that scared me.
That sounded like it was actually in the room.
Hard pans.
Any other-
Binaural baby.
Well,
Any other questions?
Yeah, that was actually kind of my next question is, with kids, how did you know when you were ready? Was there something, and probably you never know, but what?
Well, the abortions
Yeah,
got to
when
be
did
too
you know?
expensive. I couldn't. They were just. I said I can't keep paying for this.
That'll break the bank, man.
The pounding.
I don't. I don't know. Good advice from a good friend, John C. Riley, said before as we were talking about having kids, he said, "There's never a good time.
That's
So
true.
don't worry about finding the good time to have kids."
Yeah, everyone's like, well, when I finish school or when I get a better job.
There's never
or
going to
when
be a
this-
good
but-
time in your life. I mean, it's a little different for guys. Obviously, women have to. There is a sort of clock that exists, and there's a debate about that. And there's how do you balance your work and like that's. I'm not speaking on behalf of women here. I could never do that. That is definitely. But for
I can though.
you could, yeah, you're here as a representative because there's so many women that come on the show. It's nice that we
Finally got some guys in here.
finally. But that's been the perspective I went with, which is like, you know what? You can't organize your life. It's just going to happen, and then you organize around that. Okay?
Okay.
That should be obvious.
And can I get one not serious question then?
Sure.
Okay.
You call all the way in from the Netherlands. I can't imagine what your long distance bill is.
Okay.
So Fleetwood Mac, if you had to choose albums before the self-titled album or basically before Nicks basically before Nicks, if you had to pick one or the other, which way would you go?
Oh, 100% after.
I don't understand the question.
Well, I mean, Lindsay,
Like
pre-Lindsay and Stevie or post-Lindsay and Stevie?
Basically, yeah.
Who wants to listen to that old
blues
blues
stuff?
Fleetwood Mac stuff? Like it's.
Oh, really?
I don't go deep into it, but it's like that psychedelic blues stuff. Vic loves it.
I like the early. I like what's the guy's name?
Peter
Bob
Green?
Welch. Is that his name? He was like the leader of the band.
Peter Green.
Yeah.
No, but like after the blues, like they did this song. Hypnotized. Do you know this one?
Hypnotized. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And then
Yeah.
and the Bob Welch solo stuff is good too. Yeah.
Well, I don't care. What are you gonna? So you're gonna listen to that over
No, but, like, if we
Dreams
have
and
to-
over
well, that's a nice
Rihanna
thing,
and
we don't
over
have to choose. I
fucking
can-
Rumors
yeah.
and
Yeah.
fucking
No,
everything
yeah,
else.
How are you gonna beat those? I mean, you can't beat those.
you can hear the cocaine on Tusk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you listen to
Oh,
it,
yeah.
like all of a sudden.
Toss.
Oh, that's so
Shit's
good.
crazy, man.
You ever play with them?
I've worked with Stevie Nicks before.
Yeah?
Oh yeah.
A long time ago. I was really young, and I spent 2 days in the studio with her. It's funny because as you guys were talking about this, I was going, should I tell this story? I don't know if I can get in trouble or not.
Well, this is going to be the theme of the show, folks. Josh's stories that he's not sure if he's going to be
Yeah.
getting in trouble for it. We're going to obviously push him towards the stories.
Well, I worked with her at a studio called The Village years and years ago, and I kind of like, I was going, God, what am I doing here? You know, I'm in the studio, you know, usually I'll be tracking drums and maybe there's another person or two playing, or you're playing just to a Pro Tools rig, but this was like all these guys, it was like 15 people in the room, guitars, percussion, background singers, piano, and, you know, a lot of people that like tour with her regularly and stuff. But I will say there might have been a little bit of this
A
happening,
boozy thing happening
and maybe a little bit of this happening,
on her side.
and which is fine.
No judgments here.
No,
ladies
but
and
what was funny, this is all I'm going to say, is I overheard someone say while I was in the room, they go, "Isn't it great to see Stevie clean?" And I'm like, I'm drinking my coffee going, I'd be passed out. If I was
Some of those people though, just like they
That's
that just
clean.
they just become that. That's who they have become.
Right.
They're-
Or just doing that is not so bad as doing all that over
Right,
there.
right.
You know?
There's a great documentary that I always recommend. I think it's on YouTube called Destiny Rules. I think, and it's about the making of this Fleetwood Mac's like 2000 album. I think it's like when they came back. That first time they came back, where I think it was like The Dream or something like that, one of those.
Live album.
Yeah. Then they put out a studio album, and it's the documentary is the making of that album. It's like better than Spinal Tap at certain points.
Oh
There's
yeah,
so
they're
much.
so incestuous too, right? Everyone fucking each other,
Yeah,
and you
and
know,
there's so much
breaking up
intellectualizing
and-
about the records and the music, and Lindsay's insane. Everybody's insane.
Yeah.
Lindsay's insistent on it being a double album, and everyone's like, yeah, but then it becomes more expensive, and it becomes a whole, like, where it's not going to sell as well, and he's
we got to
just-
write more songs.
Yeah.
Tim,
know
don't
that-
let Stevie shave you.
You know, the Mick Fleetwood has a bar on Maui, right? In Lahaina, which is like the touristy area, right,
Right.
on Maui. And if you walk past it, there's like a flag. It's called Fleetwood's or something. something weird like that. And,
Something not on the nose.
Fleetwoods, yeah. And there's like a flagpole, and I forget if it's all the way up or at half mast or whatever, but one of either all the way up or halfway down signals that Mick's on the island, and he might be jamming tonight. So book your ticket and fly the fuck back to the mainland. No.
Wow.
Well, we've all seen the video of the bells dangling between his and him playing the beatbox. It's the best.
Vic, have you done anything with that yet?
Yeah, I've just posted it as is.
You don't. Yeah,
you
you
can't do it.
have
You're
to
like,
mess
did
with
you
that.
mess with this?
Right.
No, I did not mess with this.
I was like, did I edit this? I don't remember doing that. Well, it's quick. You know who in the '80s? I don't know which one it was. They got back together for somebody's wedding, and it was I think it was Mick Fleetwood's wedding. But guess who they had there as a performer? Chubby Checker.
Really?
Yeah, it's all the videos online.
All right.
It's insane. I just
Wow.
gotta tell you.
Who
Doesn't
cares?
give a shit.
So they got
I
good
thought it was kind
taste.
of cool. That is kind of cool.
Very cool. We
They can
should
afford anybody.
We should do the city of the day. City
of the day.
Yes, city of the day.
Turn it up.
The city of the day is brought to you by one of my all-time favorites here, Diarrhea Straits. Diarrhea is a big problem for guys who live the rock and roll lifestyle, right, Josh? Especially if you're at the music venue and you need to use a public toilet. That's why legendary guitarist Mark Knopfler invented Diarrhea Straits, the diarrhea solution for cool guys. This portable tube attaches to your ass, and it goes deep into the water. So you have no loud sounds, no splashes. Don't worry, your leather pants will be looking great all night.
Yeah, we do the plop of life.
You want to take two on that?
Hey, we do the plop of life.
And the plastic tube is long, so your emissions will be
So far away from me.
Plus, Diarrhea Straits comes in a portable guitar case, so when you exit the stall, everyone thinks you're just doing coke in there or something. It's easy.
That ain't working. That's the way you poo it.
So order your Diarrhea Straits today and be a
Sultan of spray.
only available at Guitar Center and Sam Ass. Diarrhea
How about
Straits.
Fanny's Music in New York?
I practiced my Knopfler all week for that.
Sultan of Spray. Why would you be a Sultan of Spray though? Because it's supposed to eliminate that problem.
Well, it's because you're the master of your
So you're diarrheaing down into a tube that goes directly underwater.
Yeah.
So there's no
blast.
spraying out. So you are spraying, but it's condensed and sort of sends it down into the water. I like it.
Mitchell McDermott is our City of the Day host. Mitchell, you're there.
Oh shoot! What's up, guys?
Hey, what a strange angle we have here. This is
Yeah.
like something from A Clockwork Orange or something. I feel like I'm in that scene where they break into that millionaire's house and they torture them, right?
You're the guy that plays Darth Vader is in that scene. Do you know that?
Oh, is that right? Is that
David,
the guy?
David Powers or David Prowse is the big muscle guy towards the end.
Oh,
when
wow.
Alec
Yes.
when
He's like the manservant.
When he comes back, he gets he gets beaten up by his old buddies, by the Droogs, and he crawls to that house, and they realize this is the guy.
Yeah.
And the big manservant guy is the Darth Vader.
Wow.
I just learned that recently. That's why
That's
I'm bringing
cool.
it up.
Yeah. I had no
Thank you.
idea.
I mean, please feel free to bring that stuff to my attention. How can I help? What's the city of the day?
City of the day is Somerville, Massachusetts.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I get it.
I don't, but
What's
guess
going on
that's
in
all right.
Somerville? Are we talking coastal Mass or inland?
It's right after Cambridge, so it goes Boston, Cambridge, and then Somerville.
So it's a
not-
Boston
not too
suburb
far.
almost.
Yeah, correct.
Is-
Yeah, so I had
Great.
I had a pun for you guys, and then I have a question for Tim actually.
Okay, good.
All right, so my pun is, and I'm not usually I'm not the funny guy in my group, so I've been working on
Disclaimer.
this.
Wait a minute, you've got a group?
Yeah. 'Cause among my friends, I'm not usually,
Which
the
guy are
funny
you
one.
in the group?
Not that one.
The unfunny.
Are you the
one.
guy that people can rely on? Are you Mr. Reliable?
I'd say I say I'm many of guys, but that could be one of them.
Okay, so what's the pun?
All right. So the pun is, what do you call it when Bill Gates suffers from erectile dysfunction?
Microsoft.
Ah, damn it.
But, I mean, that's just...
It's just ready to
I don't
go.
know if that's a pun. Does that qualify as a pun? It's just...
Well, he's living up to the, unfunny guy of the group.
I would say micro penis soft. Or like, I don't know. It doesn't work, pal. No wonder you're not the funny one in the group. That checks out.
I have a bone.
Now, your question for me is...
Yeah, so I just saw yesterday, there's this guy on YouTube, Mr. Sweet, who did an analysis of your comedic style. I'm curious if you saw it and what you think of it.
Is it a positive? Is it positive or negative?
Yeah, the video is actually called The Father of Modern Comedy.
What, Richard Belzer?
No, it's talking about you, and it kind of analyzes just like, I don't watch too much comedic analysis, but it kind of breaks down your style. And I'm curious if it's something that you have seen.
What's it called? The Father of Modern Comedy?
What's his name? The guy who did it? Mr. What?
Mr. Sweet.
These videos get like way more views than any of my own shit do, right? So what the hell?
We'll have to do a watch along.
Who is the Father of Modern Comedy? There you go, Mr. Sweet. Yeah, it's true. I am the source. I'm the wellspring.
He believes the recent surge of post-ironic meta-humor is due to you, my friend.
And Eric and Doug and John Kreisel and a number of people.
And
I
then
continue
mainly,
to carry the torch.
So you haven't seen it, but if you do watch
I'm not gonna watch it. No,
you're not gonna watch it.
It stresses me out too much. It's like, first of all, if it's good, then I feel. I get resent. I'll tell you what I get
because I think it's finally cool to see you getting the credit that's due towards.
Well, let's see when this video hits 10 million views. See if I get the credit. This video's gonna linger around 2,000 views for 10 years. I get resentful. I'm out here continuing to build worlds, and I get almost no support from
build that wall
from the traditional trad comedy scene. Even the alt comedy scene, right? You've got these fuckers tweeting all about Ted Lasso.
You fuckhead.
And then you don't have nobody saying nothing about the High Network, which is why would you go out and support some fucking Apple shit? They've got billions of dollars. Just shut up and leave that to their big, broad marketing advertising campaign. How about a retweet on the High Network? Get people over there where that is actually interesting. Somebody's building something independently without anybody's help. I'm not fucking sourcing comedy out of Chinese sweat. What are they called?
Sweatshops.
Sweatshops, like Apple does. You understand how that could hurt a guy like me who's father of modern comedy? Sure I am. Of course.
That surprises me that you don't get more support.
They're worried. They're worried because it's so on the edge. It's so groundbreaking. It's so challenging.
Come on, the pioneers get scalped,
I'll die in the flames of my own creativity.
Here you go.
How do you like that?
That's going to go on the tombstone.
I'm dying. I'm burning alive in the flames of my own creativity. Save me, God! You cheering my roaster?
That's not me.
That was me.
That was actually us cheering.
That was
that was the room.
Well, I'll tell you what. You guys go spread the good word. And I blame the users of my program. I blame them because they're not spreading the gospel.
You need to represent.
Vic doesn't even tweet about the High Network.
I don't.
It's shameful.
I know.
Sickening stuff. I'm just gonna stop supporting other people. I'm just gonna go away.
Unfollow everybody.
I retweet a lot of stuff of yours.
I don't see a lot of evidence of that. That's
right.
true. You did.
See, one time.
You did support me once.
Yeah. I am a member of High Network.
Thank you. What about you, Caleb? Are you?
Yeah, you.
I'm in.
Matt?
Me?
No.
Thanks, Mitchell.
Now what?
Where's Caleb?
Oh, what is this?
Thanks, guys.
Is this like what we were talking about earlier? Where they're...
Oh, you know what? I forgot to mute everybody today, so this guy unmuted himself. But let's talk to him.
Yeah, what's going on here?
INI.org.
Guess
and then
which
I have to
guitarist
interview
he's
Josh
a big fan
Freese.
of. He has a question for you, Josh, and guess what he's going to ask you about. This guy.
About Buckethead?
There you go.
Yeah. Can you
Do you have any cool stories about Buckethead?
I got a lot of cool stories about Buckethead.
Let's do 4.
Okay, we're gonna do 4 right now.
4?
Well, you know, I was working with Guns N' Roses at the late '90s, and the guitar player that was playing with Axl, because it was basically a whole new band. The guitar player left, and we were looking for a guitar player. And the joke amongst the studio with Axl was, I knew everybody, right? Whoever he mentioned, he'd be like, "I bet you know that guy, right?" I go, "Yeah, I do know that guy." So I came to the studio one day, and out of the blue, I wouldn't even thought about calling Buckethead for this, but Axl goes, "Do you know Buckethead?" And I go, "Actually, I do know that guy, Buckethead." He goes, "Can you get a hold of him?" I go, "I haven't talked to him in a while, but I know he's been hanging out up in San Francisco with the Primus crew, Mr. Bungle World up there, you know. I'll call my friend David Lefkowitz, who manages Primus, and see if he knows where he is, because Buckethead's kind of, he's a recluse, to put it mildly." And so we got a hold of him, and I talked to him, and I said, I go, when I finally was on the phone, they said, "Man, Axl's been asking about, you know, if you want to come down and audition for Guns N' Roses." And I tell him, "Yeah, man, you know, I've known Brian for years. You know, I've known Brian since I was like 17 or 18. And he goes, you don't say like Brian this and Brian that, do you, when you talk to him?" I go, "Oh, no. I've never call you Brian. Oh, it's because we know each other so well. No, I call you Buckethead, of course." But Buckethead, well, he was a big fan of Warren Fitzgerald, the guitarist in the Vandals, and used to come see us play all the time. And Warren produced like a demo for him a long time ago, and that's how we became friends with him. And he's a huge Disneyland fanatic. And
Buckethead is.
Yeah, huge Disneyland fanatic. Well, the first time I met him, he was really excited to meet me because Warren had told him that I used to work at Disneyland when I was a teenager.
Wait, you and Steve Martin?
Steve Martin was over at the Golden Horseshoe Review. I mean, a little before my time, but I played in Tomorrowland Terrace, that stage that pops up out of the ground when I was like between 12 and 15. I worked in a top 40 band there. So anyways, Warren called me, goes, "There's this guy, Buckethead. I'm in the studio with him. He wears this masks. He's doing the nunchucks. He's doing like karate moves and playing incredible guitar, but it's just me and him alone. So it's kind of weird." And he goes, "You should come down because he's really impressed that you play drums at Disneyland." He's like, "You know a guy that played drums at Disneyland?"
Oh my God.
So I went down and met him, and you know, he's like, I know I'm on about 19 cups of coffee. Sorry.
No, that's okay.
But yeah, he's a freak, and he's a cool guy. And
so you've seen him bucketless?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, we went to a mall once with him. I think it was either the Westminster Mall, because he's from Diamond Bar, which is like North Orange County.
Yeah.
I grew up in Placentia, which is Yorba Linda, Fullerton area.
There goes my first question.
There you go. And but we went to some mall with him in Orange County during the time that Warren was producing these demos for him. And I remember walking around, and he's really tall. He's got really, really long. He almost looks like a weird younger version of Brian May. He's got the Brian May hair, right?
Yeah.
We were talking about him earlier. And we're there, and we're walking around the mall, and he goes, "Hey, if you want, I can walk like 10 feet behind you guys, or you don't have to walk with me. You know, you guys have like short hair, and you're like cool and punk rock guys. We don't have to walk together if you don't want." I'm like, "No, we can walk together. It's cool." And around that time too, I remember he called me and left me a message once. Around the time I met him, and he just blew me away. His guitar playing and his whole bizarre personality and stuff. And he left me this message. He goes, "Hey Josh, it's Buckethead. You know, Brian, the guitarist. You know, we met the other." I'm going, "Oh my God! Like, how could I forget?" Yeah, I remember you, dude. The guy with the bucket on his head. Yeah, that we hung out with. It was last night that we hung out. You know, whatever.
But he's a courteous guy.
But
so did he put up with all of Axl's bullshit or what?
So he was coming down and auditioning, right? And when I say auditioning, he came down and played like on a Thursday night with us, right at the studio. And Axl liked him, and he kind of invited him. "Hey, why don't you come back next week and jam again?" So he came back and jammed. It went well. "Why don't you come back? You know, you want to come back next week, early in the week?" He said, "Sure." So I told my dad, who had never met Axl before, and my dad, when I grew up, he directed the Disneyland band, and he hired the music out there. There's kind of a connection of me getting a job out there. And Buckethead was always like, "Man, I want to meet your dad someday because, you know, he hires the music at Disneyland. Maybe I could work there." So anyways, I tell my dad, I go, "Listen, you should come down on Monday night because, number one, Buckethead's going to be there. You can meet him. And number two, I don't know how much longer I'm going to be down there. Like, I'm ready to exit stage left."
Let me interrupt you there and ask. So why was that? Why are you feeling that way? What's the vibe happening with Axl and the band? And just nothing's getting done?
Well, there's just a lot of there was some procrastinating and just whatever. I mean, just the record took a long time. And after I had a 2-year contract with them, and after my 2 years was up, I was kind of like looking to do other things.
Yeah.
I was starting that band, A Perfect Circle, with Maynard from Tool and Billy Howardell. And I was kind of wanting to do something a little more tangible that seemed like it was going to.
What would a schedule be on that in that period of time? Like, and what was the goal? The goal was to make a new Guns N' Roses
Yeah,
album?
we're going to make a new Guns N' Roses record and also rehearse the band enough to where when the time came they were going to go play, it didn't sound like we just rehearsed for a couple weeks and jammed.
Right.
So we'd play all the old songs all the time and
Right.
stuff, and it just kind of became...
And who's in the original lineup besides Axl? Nobody.
Just me and Axl. No, just Axl, really.
Yeah.
So it was all a bit strange, right?
Sure.
And so anyways, back to the Buckethead thing. So I tell my dad, you should come down here because I'm not sure how much longer I'm going to be here. You should meet Axl. You'll meet Buckethead. So he comes down. We're all kind of hanging out in the control room, and introductions are made, and we all kind of hang out for about 20 minutes. And then we're like, okay, cool. Let's go out in the live room and play some more. And Buckethead's still sort of on the audition circuit still with the band. He's not officially in the band yet or whatever. So my dad goes out to like use the restroom before we start playing. Like Axl leaves the room, and Buckethead turns around to me and a couple of the guys in the room and goes, "Oh man, I'm a little nervous." and I said, dude, this is like the third time Axl's invited you down here. It's all good. Like I think you've got the gig. He goes, "No, not about Axl. Your dad's here." He hires the Disneyland music. You know.
I wonder if if Buckethead would be happy just being playing for Disneyland. Like, why?
Yeah. But you know what's funny? Early on, my dad goes, yeah, "I'd hire Buckethead out there, but he's a little too out. It's a little too out." You know.
He's strange.
He told me his dream is to. I don't know how familiar you guys are with the ride, the Pirates of the Caribbean, but
it's my son's favorite ride.
There you go. Yeah. After I've been on it, I think 19 million times. And after the second waterfall you go down, before you go in the room where there's got piles of gold and stuff, there's this skeleton on this like shipwrecked ship with this lightning going. You can barely see it. The lightning goes on and there's wind blowing. It's this lone skeleton with this like shipwrecked ship like steering it. And he goes, "My dream is to be standing next to that guy, like soloing."
Oh, wow.
I'm like, that'd be cool. And the other thing he told me once is he said that he goes, "I've recorded different versions of the rides, me playing the rides. So when I go on, let's say Small World, I got headphones on, I'm hearing me play Small World."
Whoa,
and
that's intense.
And when I'm going on this ride, I'm hearing that. And I said, "What do you do for something like Space Mountain?" He goes, "Oh, it's just me going off. I'm just going off."
This is not a guy with kids and a family.
No.
I want to know, did KFC make special bucket hats for him, or is he using the paper ones? Is he eating
You know what's funny?
You must mean Yum Foods.
No, but isn't
who
it
owns
KFC? It's a KFC bucket, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. See. Yeah.
I know, but I
feel
think
like
you might be. I don't think KFC's involved with that.
They might be
the
distancing
corporate
themselves.
Okay.
No.
This Zoomer really got
I know.
a lot.
Do you have your guitar set up?
Yeah. Any more Buckethead questions?
No. You have your guitar, I? This guy's usually on his guitar.
Oh yeah.
Well, let me just back up for a second because.
Oh, go ahead.
Look, I don't want.
Wait, this is Buckethead.
He's just getting.
It might be. It might fucking be.
What is this
Yeah,
now?
I thought he had something.
He's like the
lined up
number
there.
one Buckethead.
I like
fan.
how he's got his
Watch
little.
his shtick.
Oh, and that's a Buckethead like doll that he made.
Well, he's
Buckethead doll. It's a Buckethead.
I think this is just Beanie Head.
Oh no, that's Beanie Head. Yeah. I was gonna say Bucket doesn't play acoustic probably.
Great.
It's clipping.
It's
Sorry,
like that,
I.
right?
Very
It's
good.
clipping. All right,
It
thanks,
clips, it
I.
clips on. Thank you.
Yeah,
that was awesome.
I didn't really properly introduce you. Josh is Vic said described you the other day to us as sort of like the Hal Blaine of the new millennium or the past several years. Or maybe the
who?
like
Hal
a
Blaine
legendary
Yeah.
session drummer, legendary session drummer who's also been in several bands. But you're just the guy Axl's going to call. You're right now playing with Sting in Vegas.
Right, and Offspring, their drummer refused to get vaccinated, right? Wasn't that something like that? So they're like, let's get Josh in, right? And,
You're the guy they call.
Yeah.
I guess so. Yeah.
What's the what do you? What is the most highest selling song that you are on?
Oh God.
You must know.
You know what? It might be something like I played on one of I think it maybe was his biggest hit, Michael Bublé's biggest hit, a song called "Just Haven't Met You Yet." It's like a song
Just haven't met you yet. I just haven't met you yet.
Well, my kids' favorite, they were impressed when I told them that you played on "Stronger" by Kelly Clarkson. Is that true?
You know what's funny? You know what's funny? There's a lot of. Is that a song or a record?
Doesn't mean it make you stronger. Maybe it's the record. Maybe you're on that.
Careful,
yeah.
Vic. We're gonna get flagged.
I've got. I'm not going to go into this necessarily this plug right now, but I do have a record that just came out, and it's all these 1-minute songs. And I've got a second record coming out. It's volume 2 of 1-minute songs.
Let's see how the first one sells before we jump to the second.
No, but there's a song. There's a song on the second one called "I Didn't Know I Recorded with Avril." Is the name of the song. And there's a lot of people that I've recorded with. I've done thousands of sessions where, like when I worked on that Avril Lavigne record, I'd never heard of her. She was a brand new artist. It was me and a producer in a studio one night. We knocked out 4 or 5 songs with a Pro Tools rig. I was done. He said her name. I'd never heard of her. It was a weird name.
Wow.
I was more concerned with writing down the contact name at Capitol Records, whoever was getting the invoice.
Yeah.
And then the record came out, and I had no idea. You know, I was kind of probably, I think, kind of making fun of the video of them in the mall with the quote unquote punk rock outfits, pouring strawberry shakes on each other's heads, and someone goes, "Oh, I saw your name on that Avril Lavigne record." I go, "I don't play on that record." He says, "You did, yeah, you did." I go, "No, I didn't." And he goes, and I looked at the back and it says like tracks 2, 5, 7, 9, and 12 produced by Cliff Magnus, and I went,
"You know who that is?
My friend Cliff Magnus. That's the session I did a
Right.
year ago out in Burbank."
She's nowhere to be seen in this actual session.
Right? Yeah. No. And she was a brand new artist. I know I've just it kind of went in one ear and out the other, you know. But
She's, you know who she's married to? Adam Levine from Maroon 5. And they're brother and sister, so that's a whole other thing.
Avril Lavigne and Adam Levine.
Yeah.
let's get into that for a
Avril
minute.
Levine. It's like hyphenated.
Yeah, Levine.
Anyways, yeah, I don't know. The Michael Bublé song is a weird one for me to reference, but it's just it's so mainstream. It was such a huge hit for him.
But you started in like the punk world.
I started at Disneyland.
We know that.
technically.
We did start
Right.
at Disneyland.
Played in a top 40 band there for 3 years.
You were in like the Orange County punk scene?
But yeah, I started playing with the Vandals when I was like 16, 17, and kind of was moonlighting at the same time with Frank Zappa's son Dweezil. That was technically the first album I made was a Dweezil Zappa record.
Wow.
And that was fun for me in the way that I grew up a big Frank Zappa fan.
Okay.
And Frank
Not me. I'm not a fan. I'm on the record.
Okay, that's cool.
It's not for everybody.
He was still alive when I was working with Dweezil, and so it was cool for me to hang out up at their house up at the top of Laurel Canyon. They had this beautiful studio. There's always interesting characters in and out of there. But yeah, that's kind of how I started, is between Dweezil and the Vandals, and started just kind of like snowballing into it. Just seemed like everyone had a drummer that either when they went to the studio couldn't play to a click track, or was on drugs,
right,
or had sex with the singer's girlfriend. So there was always some blowout. You know?
So what makes you? And I was gonna think about like, is this a common thing in session drummers that get work a lot, which is you're steady. You can play to a click track. You're not full of drama.
Yeah,
and you're just an easy guy to get along.
I'm not on drugs.
You're not fucking John Bonham in there. You're not some kind of powerhouse.
Well, it
You're not
depends. I mean,
moody.
lots of times you have to like settle back and just do what the producer or the artist wants, and sometimes it's very, very simple, and then other times it's really, really aggressive and crazy. And I think that I get hired probably because I can sort of do both.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If they say we want Keith, make it sound like Keith Moon on the song, I know what they mean. I can play like Keith Moon.
Right.
We want to sound like
Get
Bonham on the
busy.
song. Do that, but between being able to play to a click. Not being drunk on the session and not having sex with the singer's girlfriend. Well, technically, full on sex. It's I think the word gets around that you're dependable and
right.
There's Bonham.
Well, it sounds like we're going to a break with that music, doesn't it? All right, ladies and gentlemen.
Or they put the music on like in the acceptance speech, like, okay, this fucker's talking too long. Bring the music up.
And you played with Devo, right?
Yeah, I played with Devo for 25 years, yeah.
25 years?
But they'll play sometimes once every year and a half.
Right.
They'll
Did you
do a
play on
gig.
this latest swing?
Yeah, we just played...
At like the YouTube Theater?
The YouTube Theater.
People know I had terrible seats at that YouTube Theater last week.
Did you go?
Bon Ivar, not that show, the Bon Ivar show.
Oh,
Bon Ivar.
right.
I was up in the nosebleeds.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Disgrace, disgrazia.
What'd you think about that place?
It sold pretty well.
Well, there's some positives. It sounds pretty good. Sounds great. It's it feels weird when you're in. It's like a airport vibe.
Yeah,
feels
well, it's
very-
real new and sort of clinical. I feel like someone needs to spill a couple beers or
Yeah.
puke or something to kind of give it a
But
little bit of vibe.
I do think there's something really interesting about like somebody like Bon Iver or even maybe Devo, where it's more of a theatrical presentation, almost like a symphony or something, than a
Right.
rock show.
Right.
And that's the room. It doesn't feel like a rock show room. It's a seated. And people don't really, especially with Bon Iver, which is like kind of. I mean, if Hayden were to play there, you'll hear his music in a minute. Like, it's not the kind of thing where you go, woo, yeah! It's like you're sitting there to appreciate it. It's not like a rock show.
Right, right.
Devo's a little different, but
Well, it serves a certain weird attendance thing where, like, it's bigger. I kind of look at it like this. Like, I really used to like Gibson Amphitheater, right? Universal Amphitheater,
Yeah,
which is
yeah,
not there
yeah.
anymore.
Right.
And it was a cool place because it was big, but somehow still intimate. Like
Yeah.
the seats were all pretty good.
every seat was a good seat.
And
yeah.
it's more than the Palladium or the Wiltern. It's more than 3,000, but it's not it's not 15,000 or 17
Right.
at the Forum or Staples Center.
Right.
It's like a 5,000-6,000
Yeah.
thing, which is an odd kind of like in between space.
like almost like the Greek.
Yeah, and when
indoors.
Universal Amphitheater went away, it's like, oh man, well, that was a great room for specific bands that could do a little bit better than the Palladium, but not quite so the Staples Center, right?
I'm doing Zebulon.
There you go.
But yeah.
You know what I mean?
But it's also, I mean, this is a very LA talk here, but it's all the way out by the airport, which for most people, I don't know, a lot of people I guess live on the west side, but
Yeah.
for
It's
the
kinda
east
the middle of
siders,
nowhere.
it's like an hour away to
Yeah.
get there from here.
And it's
So-
connected to the stadium, so it's like people get kind of confused, and there's
It's very
fucking
confusing,
parking, kind of
yeah.
almost too
but
much
people
parking.
show, I mean, I'm sure Devo was all sold out.
It was great, yeah. It's a really cool show.
And you obviously must love those guys. I mean,
They're great.
who's in that band?
Well, it's all original
Mark?
guys except for me, But
What happened to that drummer?
Well, Alan, rest in peace. He's not alive anymore, but he.
That's a good excuse.
Devo, yeah, there you go. Can't show up. No, what happened was they kind of stopped playing like in the late '80s, early '90s for a while. They didn't really do a whole like we're broken up. They just
Right.
kind of like.
Well, Mark probably went off and did music.
They were kind of sick of each other, sort of, and Mark was getting involved in scoring television shows and movies and doing a lot of stuff for Nickelodeon, doing stuff for Pee-wee's Playhouse. And so when they started to play gigs again in like 95, 96, they all wanted to be involved except the original drummer. And it was a mutual, he didn't want to be there, they didn't really want him there.
Okay.
And Bob, too, also rest in peace, Bob Kazali died recently. He had produced a Vandals record. He produced the first Vandals record I made, and we were all Devo fans, but I was the youngest and goofiest, like, heart on my sleeve, kind of like, oh my God, I was a huge fan.
Yeah.
And I kind of remained friends with them. So when they started playing gigs again, Bob's like, hey, I got this kid that probably knows our songs better than we do, and he's probably cheap. So, I was, at least then. So I started playing with him. It was great,
Trivia question. What friend of mine recently played drums with Devo because you were probably not available?
Fred Armisen.
Correct.
He did.
Ding,
And
ding, ding,
I
ding.
saw him at the YouTube Theater the other night. He was there.
Oh, he was there to see the show.
Uh-huh.
Good. Yeah, that was a thrill for him. That's
Yeah.
one of his top guys.
It
He
was
like, I
great.
can't believe I'm fucking drumming for Devo right now. What that feels.
I was getting text messages from him going, how do you count the drum part in Jocko Homo? Like, is that in 5 or 7 or
Was that like
when you
11 or
count
something?
it off? Like what the hell, And
Wow.
what kind of snare drum or what? How's the tuning on this?
Because some people think immediately of Devo being like very electronic, but there's a lot of drums.
What's
there's
funny,
like a foundation.
actually even the first 3 records are all live drums, and the third record was the record that really catapulted them into fame, which is the one with it's the Freedom of Choice album with Whip It, and Girl You
right.
Want. And that's live drums, but Alan was they called him the human metronome. He was such a precise drummer, and he didn't do a bunch of drummery
Right,
shit.
right.
The fills
Feels
were
like
all...
feels like a drum machine.
Yeah, they're very kind of like stiff and linear. And, but after that, in the video, he's playing these like electronic like sin drums.
Right.
And so I saw it and went, oh man, these guys like have this weird state-of-the-art electronic stuff. And I went out and bought the first 2 records after that. And on the inner sleeve of the second album, there's a picture of them, and it's like, wait, the guys have guitars, and the guy's
Yeah.
got a bass guitar, and the drummer has a drum set that looks like mine.
Right.
It's a 5-piece drum set. What the hell?
Yeah.
I felt like ripped off. I'm like,
Right.
this is gonna have like a spaceship or some shit.
Right.
Yeah, I was like, fuck, whatever. And then I realized those first 2 records are really kind of like, they didn't know really what to call it. They called it punk rock because it was weird.
Right.
And some of it was
Very
aggressive and it
angular,
was
yeah.
smart-assy.
And Eno's influence too on the first record too.
Yeah, Brian Eno made that first record, and you had guys like Bowie and Neil Young. They were kind of fighting over who was going to get him signed and who was going to take credit for.
Right.
I found Devo. No, I
Right.
found Devo. So they had,
Was it hard to play that Satisfaction drum beat? Because that beat.
You know what's funny? It's not hard, but if you get out of it, have fun coming back in.
Right.
And I want to tell you where it's from because it's pretty embarrassing. But we were talking about it recently, and I found it. But there's a performance we did about 10 years ago where the bass player, and we've done this thing. And by the way, the bass player is Jerry Ghazali is a huge fan of you guys and what you do. And he was the first
tweeting about the High Network, maybe.
Yeah.
From the Devo account.
I've
Big
worked
fan.
with Jerry. I edited one of his music videos like 10 years ago.
What did you do?
Jihad Jerry. He
Yeah,
does.
I
Jihad
played on the
Jerry.
record. Jihad Jerry and the Evildoers.
Yeah.
What did you do? The Army Girls Gone Wild.
Are you
what
going
I
to put out
did.
a memoir called "I Played on That Record"? That's okay.
My wife said I can, but I got to wait till I'm ready to not work anymore.
Yeah.
said.
We want all the dirt.
Not that I'm, I don't want to throw people under the bus, but I got some juicy stories, But a
Um,
lot of good stories, not a lot of bad shit. You know what I mean?
well,
Which I feel good
I
about.
did ask you offline. I said, "What's the deal with Sting? Yes or no?" As far as a guy, you know what I mean? Like, what are we dealing with? Because you're playing with Sting, and
Yeah.
you said candidly,
He's
good
great.
guy, not a bad guy.
Great guy.
And I like hearing. You root for. I generally root for people. I don't sit here with my knives
Right,
out
sure.
saying, "I hope that." But of course, there's a thing that happens. I think in our business that our business.
Yeah.
But that we might have different experiences than say, people not that you're not working with. Like people are like, well, he was nice to me. That's not always the case when you find out like how they act with other people. But I'm not saying that about Sting at all. But sometimes we have a skewed perception of people.
I've watched him in many situations where he surprises people as being as dad. Like whenever friends of mine come to shows and they're kind of like, hey, they kind of, whether they say we want to meet Sting or whether they don't say it, I know they kind of want to meet Sting.
Yeah, sure.
Instead of having to bring them into his room and it's kind of like awkward and come in here, excuse me, Sting, these are my friends. I said, just come backstage like before the show. Like not right before the show, but like 15, 20 minutes because he's just kind of like sitting on road cases.
waiting
talking
to go
to
on.
people.
Yeah.
Drinking
And
a
it's
tea
a nice
and
way
just-
for him to warm up a
Yeah,
little bit, right?
Yeah, just hanging out and talking, and
Yeah.
it's not uptight and it's not awkward and weird. And people go, God, yeah, he was just kind of hanging out, like, There's been a couple times where he's found my friends backstage and brought them to me.
Oh wow!
Like literally, he's
That's
like,
funny.
"Hey, Josh, I found some friends of yours out here in the hallway." And I'm like, Sting's
I
bringing
was telling
me
you,
my
I went to
people.
go see Queen in Vegas a few
Yeah.
years ago, and we knew Adam Lambert, who was singing for Queen, and we went back. Me and Fred went backstage, and we're like, "Can we say hi to Roger and Brian?" And he's like, "Yeah, they're just hanging out, like having a glass of wine and toweling off."
Yeah.
There's not much allure back there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they were both very nice, and Brian was like super sweet. I was like, that was so great. Really, you thought so? Like, oh, I don't know. I don't know
Oh,
if it
shucks.
sounded so good. Like, it's so great. You could come, And you're just like, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah. He's the only Queen that I've met is Brian.
So nice.
I met him once. He
What
was
a
super
sweet-
nice, and yeah.
Speaking of great guitar players, we do have a great guitar player here, Hayden Pedigo, Mr. Gucci
Yeah.
Goo.
Gucci goo.
I would like to turn things over to him at this place and ask him to play us a piece of music from his new album.
Yeah.
What is the
he
new
was doing that.
Hey, can we finally have a donut while he's
Well,
playing?
let me just say, this is an office hours first. Josh Freese so kindly brought in a box of Entenmann's donuts. Now, as everybody knows, I'm fasting until noon.
Oh, come on.
So
Until
I will,
noon.
Huh?
Until noon?
Yeah. So I will, at the end of the show, I
like
will,
that.
I
I
will
gotta say
eat
till
4 of those.
Thursday or something.
So leave me 4.
I'll leave you 4.
Leave me the chocolate frosteds. I
we
don't know
can eat
how
them during the
appropriate it is
drop
to be eating
concert,
donuts during Hayden's performance either. I'm trying to think if that's a disrespectful move.
Not at all.
We can wait. We've waited this long. We can wait a little longer.
So what we'll do is this. As you all know the drill, the latest incarnation, the latest season of Office Hours goes a little like this. We're going to have a beautiful performance here, a flawless performance. I want no mistakes, no sour notes. And then We'll take a little potty break. We all have to take a shit. There's gonna be a line out the door.
Toilet.
I take a long, hard shit after this performance.
Biloxi brownout.
And we'll be back for patrons only. But live, we continue for the public. If you're watching this on replay, please head over to patreon.com/officehourslive. And it's a great value, great deal, $5 a month, whatever you want to do. We give you everything. We give you the Joel hole. We give you nude access to my toilet cam that I just set up. So now you can watch me urinate and defecate any time of day. We archived that, right?
Diarrhea Straits?
No,
Yeah,
no.
I was gonna say the salt
I
and
don't
the
have
spray.
that installed
You
yet.
get the full
I am
spray?
dropping hard logs, and it's an HD.
Oh, nice. 4K.
Yeah, and what you'll do is you'll get an alert on your phone that said, "I'm approaching the toilet now." So the camera turns on, and then you see me see the sit. And you'll be able to see some scrot and see a little bit of...
It's like a Ring camera, but it's Rang. It's like
Rang.
the Ring
That's
camera.
now only on Patreon, and that's a
okay,
higher
spray.
tier. Ladies and gentlemen, Hayden, all the way from Amarillo, Texas,
I'm
all the way from the Hollywood...
I live in Lubbock, Texas right now. Where
What
Buddy
happened?
Holly's from. My wife's going to school at Texas Tech.
You moved.
Yeah, an hour and a half away from Amarillo.
I would have just gone with what I said, and we could have clarified that in the interview. Lubbock, Lubbock, Texas, the beautiful sounds of Hayden Pedigo.
Am I good to go?
Take it away. I'll tell you when to start.
Okay, let me try.
Wait, Josh can count him in.
1, 2, 3, 4.